Welcome to Spiritual Dessert Trews, episode 165 for Russell Brand and other people. So this is a uplifting message from the Arcturians, understanding levels of change, developing a real sense of self. Greetings from the Arcturian group. Know that everything is proceeding according to plan. And be not afraid, dear ones, for many changes and upheavals happening on Earth at this time are all proof of the shifting energy of evolution. Remember, as you observe chaos taking place in the world, that what has become old, more often than not, only leaves after a great deal of resistance. We wish to speak today of change, a topic we have spoken of before, and there are many who as of yet do not associate needed change with personal change. These dear ones see and work toward change in politics, religion, and government, but do not realize that they themselves are the politics, religion, and government. Outer change can only be manifest from the substance from which it is formed, consciousness. You as creators have over time created many different three-dimensional worlds, each manifesting the belief system and consensus, consciousness of the times. When enough people awaken, the enlightened world consciousness will once again shift the dynamic of the whole, for consciousness and its manifestation are one and the same. Notice that as concepts and beliefs change, states of consciousness, laws and acceptable ways of living also change. Change is extremely difficult for those who find security and comfort in sameness. It's very easy to rest back in ways that up to now have worked to bring a level of harmony and peace, regardless of how it was accomplished. These dear ones struggle and resist, and often without accomplishing or without thought automatically bring judgment and criticism to any suggestions of change in their personal world or the world in general. This is an expression of fear. Those accustomed to believe without question what authority figures tell them respond with a, "Oh, we've always done it this way. It's worked." The government, priest, expert has said. However, this mindset is no longer working because the energy manifesting and supporting it is dissolving. Good. These ways were perfect and necessary for their time, but it's now a new time. And if you look closely, you'll discover cracks beginning to appear in the foundation of the long upheld world concepts. Many commonplace ideas, beliefs, and world solutions no longer resonate with an awakening mankind. And because they no longer hold the belief energy necessary to keep them in place, they're crumbling. This appears as chaos and brings about all varieties of fear for those who are superstitious and unawakened states of consciousness. In your personal lives, many of you are discovering that long-standing relationships with certain friends or family members seem to no longer be on the same page. This is because resonance attracts like resonance. And if you have made a shift in consciousness, you're no longer resonating with those who remain in the previous energy. This can be very confusing and even hurtful for those who do not understand and interpret the situation on a three-dimensional level. So maybe they weren't resonating with you, and maybe they didn't understand. There was some sort of unknowable riff, and then mysteriously they got back on the same page, because we can grow at different spiritual levels. So it's very important to accept where you are and where other people are, because you will eventually catch up. It's not like you're better than them. It's simply a matter of being in a new place energetically. Like energy attracts like energy. Often, there comes a point in the spiritual journey at which the student finds they have no friends at all. This is the point at which you must trust this part of the journey, not trying to fix or make things work again according to popular thinking. Very quickly, the student will find that those of a similar resonance are attracted into their sphere and become the new friends. Know that you're being guided every step of the way and cannot be other than on your chosen path. Fear governs the actions of many large corporations and individuals as they observe their business models no longer resonating with the majority. This is happening in the medical pharmaceutical fields as well as with organized religions and world governments. Frequently, no holds are barred financially or dishonestly in the effort to bring the customers back. Without evolving change in the consciousness of a business and individuals involved, heavy promotion tactics simply will not work. It doesn't speak to the new consciousness, and people are not so easily fooled as they once were. You'll begin to observe this frantic struggle of making the old work as it once did. More and more in all sorts of situations. Change is often difficult for spiritual leaders and light workers if their focus and teachings have been locked into specific practices and teachings. They will find that what once worked no longer works. This is because any spiritual practice or beliefs rigidly not allowed to evolve will not resonate with the evolving consciousness of serious seekers. As students move on and fewer are attracted, many a sincere spiritual teacher is left to wonder why. And this question will become the teacher's lesson. Dogma, rigidity, and righteousness have no place in true spirituality, for they represent stagnation, impossible within an omnipresent and infinitely unfolding divine consciousness. Duality and separation beliefs cannot be carried into the new energy. Work, play, practices, and every spark of daily living is moving into new and higher expression. Your job is to stand back and allow, letting go of any attempts to figure it all out with the mind according outdated and often incorrect world beliefs. A mind conditioned through many lifetimes with three-dimensional beliefs needs time to reprogram. This means allowing new awarenesses to integrate and become one's state of consciousness, while at the same time releasing everything recognized as old and finished. The minute there is resistance to anything, an energy block is created. We're not saying you must embrace every new idea or truth that presents itself, for always there must be discernment. Be alert to ideas and beliefs being hyped as new that are simply repackaged. It's imperative that without prejudgment, you honestly examine in the light of your unfolding evolution every concept and belief you hold as true, or become newly aware of, even if just say. Interesting. Non-resistance is much easier than fighting every idea that may be different from what you have always believed. It's ego, the sense of separation from the whole that does not want to admit it may be incorrect about something. Let that false sense of self dissolve into the nothingness that it is, my dear ones, for it is simply the belief you are a human being who must struggle for every bit of recognition of value. Never become spiritual doormats, living in fear of expressing personal choices because of rigidly binding man-made rules that define spirituality. It is time for all choosing to proceed on a spiritual evolutionary journey to trust that there is a bigger picture unfolding and that you will not need to know everything about it. It's time now for the being part, which may have seemed right now to be a doing nothing. Throughout time, we've been programmed to believe that spiritual progress could only happen with spiritual doing, reading, writing, healing, studying, taking classes, and healing energy sessions. This has always been the way for spiritual growth and learning, and you did these things sincerely and well. We do not say that you will never again be guided by some teacher, book, or class. However, know that it is now a new time, a time for greater selectivity, trust, and allowing, a time now to listen, rest in, live, and practice the truth that you've learned, allowing yourselves to rebirth a new state of consciousness. There is nothing to become. You already are. Kisses. Love you. I love you. I just came from the dance performance, where I wore yellow and green like spring. Don't worry about where you're at. Just be at peace. Your state of mind is the most important part, and intent. Once again, brain sync.